Yeah, that reminds me of the movie Unfriended.
It does, dude. I look like I'm about to get murdered.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the DAWG podcast.
Let's go. Episode 9, boys. You know what that means next week. We're going to have a very popular guest return. I think our only guest, so you might be able to figure out who that is. But he'll be back.
A surprise there.
Let's get into this week's topics.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. So for the first one, all of us go to college, as you guys might know, and it kind of sucks sometimes. But you know what's really great is that we don't really have that many Friday classes, right? We might have 1 or 2.
Oh, I disagree. I got 5.
You got 5 on Friday?
I got 5.
What? Okay, but like, is there a day during the work week that like you don't have any classes or very few?
No. Tuesday.
All right. Well, you guys just suck at planning because like I have 1 class on Friday and it's great. I have 1 class on Thursday. But anyways, this leads me to the point I'm trying to get to, which is after testing 4-day work weeks, companies say they don't want to go back. And so as we get into it, this was done by British people. So
yeah, we did them.
It's a little inaccurate, but this survey went over 2,900 workers for like a couple weeks, and I mean, it's a couple. It's pretty big for a survey.
Yeah, that's fair.
But 61 British businesses took part in this, and more than 90% of them said that they would continue testing the shorter week, while 18 planned to make it permanent. And so if you don't know, instead of doing 5 8-hour workdays, you would do 4 10-hour workdays. And so I'd like to get your guys' opinions on that.
I don't think it really matters. You're still working the same amount of hours.
Yeah, but the whole thing is that you get another day off. So when you talk about productivity levels, you're here on Monday, and then here on Wednesday, and then here on Friday. And so their theory is that if you start here on Monday, and even some people are doing Monday, Tuesday, rest Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and it works a lot better.
Well, what about the productivity, like the hours during the day? Do you think it would decrease once you get to that like 6th hour of the day?
You would think, but I'm guessing that their lunch is slightly later, and so it works out. But
I'm not like trying to say I don't agree with it. I just want to make sure it's like, you know what I'm saying?
No, I get that. The only problem that I see with this is that like corporations that don't do normal like computer work, basically, my grandma is in like the gas station business. Basically, it's really hard for them to do 4 10-hour days because it's so like labor intensive, especially because there are a lot of older workers too, and so they can't be on their feet for 10 hours a day. So there's issues with that, but for the most part, people do like it because now they get an extra day to spend with their kids, or not pay for a babysitter, or there's a lot of things that you can do within their day. Plus, you can use that Friday to recharge instead of and maybe not as many people will get the Sunday blues as we've all been experiencing before. So I feel like it's a really good thing. People will have more days to work on other businesses or other passions that they might not have otherwise, and then those 4 days that are designed for work will be for work.
I kind of agree with that because we all went to the same high school, and we did a schedule where our Wednesday was shorter than our Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, and I like that schedule a lot. It was like it was an hour shorter, wasn't it?
Yeah, like 50 minutes.
I definitely like that because once I get to Wednesday, I'm like, oh, okay, it's a short day. You know, I can get through this. I'm already halfway done. It's gonna be an easy day.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, yeah, laugh your ass off now, Jacob. Yeah, I haven't even said anything.
Exactly. Continue.
Dumbass. Anyway,
Making
I like
stupid
it
ass
both.
gestures.
I think if it were to work, a bill would need to be passed instead of having like corporations decide whether or not they do it. Because if you
Okay,
have
but hold on, I'm gonna stop you right there. How are you gonna pass a bill that affects, like, is it gonna affect every business? Because some businesses it's not gonna work for. You can't just pass a bill saying, oh, 4-day work week, because it's not gonna work for every business.
that's what I'm
And then
saying.
and
Like,
then
hold on.
how do you decide what businesses it works for? Are you gonna do a study for every business? That's not practical. It's not economical. It's not feasible.
This is what I'm saying, Alex. I'm saying if you have some companies implement a 4-day work week and some companies maintain a 5-day work week, companies like intermittent business between those companies would be extremely rough. You'd have to get it all done in those 4 days. Like these people are going to work 2 more hours. Like if you're in business negotiations with another business, you don't have that extra day to get it done. You have extra 2 hours
Okay,
where their
so
company employees are already off work and you're screwed.
so what would the law do? What would this bill that you propose do?
No, he's saying if the bill was that everyone had to work 4 days,
So
like in a certain industry.
Yeah.
okay.
So like if you're manufacturing like cars or whatever, you're not only going to be buying supplies from other manufacturing car plants. It's going to be like steel and stuff, and maybe they're on a 4-day work week and you're on a 5-day, so it kind of messes up the supply. But what they can do is they can always do like a 2-shift thing. So a lot of people will work Monday through Thursday, and then a lot of people will work Tuesday through Friday. And so still you could have the company working 5 days a week, or like you could do a 7-day work week still, but there's only certain people that come in for the first 4 days and other people that come in for the last 4 days.
Yeah, I think that'd be more practical, probably.
Yeah, that's definitely the way to approach it. How recent is this? Like, how recent was the study?
Came out like 2 days ago in the Washington Post or the Washington Journal.
Yeah, that's definitely interesting to see how that all plays out in the future. Because that's going to affect us the most, maybe generation before us.
Oh yeah. I mean, they did it over 6 months, and the results were most people on a scale of 1 to 10 rated it as 7.5. I was like, do they think that this is better than what was before? So we'll see.
Did they do anything with like actual like productivity numbers? Like,
Yeah, 39% of employees said that they felt less stress. 37% noted an improvement in physical health. 34 percent reported a slight improvement in productivity. 15 a significant improvement in productivity.
but what about like the company's profits?
Profits,
Like 35% jump or something.
well, that's just productivity.
Really?
Profits would have to depend, I guess, not just on the company, because like what if Bed Bath and Beyond did this? Well, their profits are already nothing. It's in the drain, so it wouldn't matter.
The big thing with this is if you're gonna convince a company to switch to a 4-day work week, you're gonna have to prove to them, you're gonna have to show them that your company is gonna be making more money and your company as a whole is gonna be more productive than the 5-day work week. And I think that's gonna be the difficult part, is persuading these big corporations to switch to something that might not make them more money.
I get that. So any last words before we move on?
I think also you're bringing up the topic of like parents spending more time with their kids. I think that's a little, I don't know, counterproductive. Because like if you're working a regular 9 to 5 job and you go till 7, like I know Alex is smiling like it's stupid, but like how are parents going to show up to their kids like sports events, soccer games, basketball games, like shit like that? Like that stuff's important to those kids. So
Oh no, I get that, but with my example, I talked more about like a babysitter. So like they would have the Fridays off that the babysitter wouldn't have to come. So these people or these kids would be young enough that they're not in school yet. But I mean, there's also where you could be working, which I know a lot of people don't want to do, but you could be working 7 to 5, which sounds ridiculous. But it would be, so you would get up with your kids, you could eat breakfast with them, you take them to school, and then you go to work, and then you would still be there in time for games. But it would be some hectic, busy days.
It's also kind of hard because there's also that push to change the hours of schooling. So that might even not line up with your child's schedule. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
'Cause
that's true.
there's that big push to change our school system. That might affect it. I don't know. Interesting concept though.
So so next topic, I thought that this would include Jacob a little bit more. Jacob, what's your opinion on the male body standard that we see today in like modeling companies or superhero movies? Do you think it is too unattainable? Do you think it's toxic, or do you think that every man should strive to be like them?
I think it depends on the person, because if you're gonna, like, Chris Hemsworth, like, he has his own like workout program and stuff, and it's like a bunch of stupid shit that he's trying to say that you'll look like him if you do these workouts, and you won't. Like, he's obviously taking stuff that fit the role, but he also has like supermodel genetics, and he's really good, but it's unattainable for the average person to get that good looking. So they're kind of going into it with like false hope.
Yeah, you have to kind of piggyback off what he said. You have these celebrities who are able to invest thousands of dollars into a workout plan and personal trainer, and then they're like for example, the Liver King. He's like, oh, only eat raw meat, do this workout, and you'll look like me. It's like, no. First of all, you're on roids. Second of all, those are implants. Like, you spent a ton of money to look that way. It's like the average person's not going to look like that.
Yeah, no. If you look at insane workouts like Mark Wahlberg, The Rock, any superhero person ever, they're always doing like 3 or 4 workouts a day. They're eating 6,000 calories. It's costing thousands and thousands of dollars. They're using personal trainers. And they literally will work out for 6 to 8 months before this role. And yet we have women and men striving for people to look this way, even though it's, like I said, very unattainable. And you have individuals that are celebrities, that are rich, that have come out and even said how they feel bad about their own body image, like Sam Smith and Robert Pattinson, who the latter is also superhero now. And there were big issues with Robert Pattinson just a couple of years ago filming The Batman, because people were critiquing his physique because they thought him as Batman, he should look very bulked up, and he wasn't. And so even when you are working out, whether or not you are a celebrity or not, you're still going to get criticism from individuals that shouldn't criticize you on the way that you look.
But I think the thing with the superhero, that's a certain circumstance, because he's playing that part. Like, he tried out for that part knowing what he expected to look like. I think that's completely different. But I do get what you're saying. Personally, I don't look at a bodybuilder on Instagram or something like that and I'm like, oh yeah, I can easily get that. Like, he's natty. I can definitely, just what I'm doing, I can get that. But I don't think it's bad to have a high standard like that, because I feel like I feel like the benefit of having that is higher than the negative side of it.
Yeah. Another big problem is you have another incident like Hugh Jackman back in 2013 when he filmed the Wolverine. He was going 2 days dehydrating himself so that his muscles would look bigger and his veins would stand out more. And he said how this is a very dangerous process and that you shouldn't do it. And other people like Tom Holland have come out and said that they've even done it in their films. And it's sad to see that this is kind of the norm, because when you don't look that great, you get criticism for it. And when you look too big, you get criticism for it. So it's like there's really no middle road for you. again, people like Brad Pitt when he did Fight Club, which a lot of men want to look like him. Like it's one of the body standards that people always shoot for when they talk about celebrities. He said that he had to cut weight for every single scene he was filming. And he had to do that because they needed a certain look for him, not because it was realistic to the story, but because he physically needed to look like this so that I guess more so he'd kind of be like eye candy for the viewers. But even people like Channing Tatum said that his body in Magic Mike didn't last more than 5 days after filming because his regimen was very low. So it's not just like obtaining the body, it's also maintaining the body. And again, it just, I don't know. It's just very toxic and people don't talk about it. And I think the only reason that this has become a big issue in the last 10 years is because of movies like superheroes.
I feel like they should be promoting a healthy way to do it, because like, for example, like Jacob knows, he was in wrestling, like he had to maintain that weight, he had to cut weight to get to a certain weight, but they have rules in place to where you have to do it in a healthy manner. So I think maybe something like that in Hollywood would be beneficial.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really good point. I just feel like and there's also celebrities that are preying on individuals that have low self-esteem that want to look like these bulked up people, where they do sell courses like you guys have touched on, which don't help at all. And you see that in other social media people, like with financial courses. So it's sad to see that people are preying on others to have low self-esteem and like they want to do better, and they're now paying money for a scam.
Yeah.
And that's like, sorry, Jacob, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, you got it.
No, you got it.
All right. Well, I was gonna, no, go ahead.
No, you got it.
No, like, because I'm gonna go off
what I'm
topic.
gonna say is gonna be like in the conversation. Like
No, that's what I was going for.
Well, you go first.
Okay. I go ahead. I forget, bro. Let me think.
Reminds me of like Christian Bale.
He's done some crazy transformations.
Yeah.
It would. And what like movie was called, like The Machinist or something, where he was like 120
pounds,
Yeah.
But one thing I did want to say is it's also important to look at the other end of the spectrum, where you have the promoting of obesity in America.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I feel like that's one of the most detrimental things to the average American person right now, to be honest with you.
Did you know that it's like 64% of American adults are obese? There's more obese people in America than there are average weight people.
Yeah, it's been that way for a little while. I know we kind of already touched on the subject in a earlier podcast episode, but I thought still a little bit of relevance to you have to see both sides.
Yeah. What I was going to end off on is, if you're going to work out and you see all these people, it's going to take a lot of time, but don't compare yourself to others. Just look at you, take pictures of yourself, like look back at where you started and where you're at now, and it'll help you a lot. Like, I've been working out for close to a year now, and I'm just now starting to not compare myself to others and just do my own thing. It's really hard not to, like, when you scroll through Instagram, it's all shirtless dudes that are like 3 times the size of you, that are like professional bodybuilders.
Yeah, and like you're a perfect example of that, because what'd you weigh about a year ago?
40 pounds. No, a year ago, like 130 pounds.
Yeah, and it was kind of crazy watching you like that transformation, because like we work out together and then I stopped working out for a couple weeks, And then we'd get back and Jacob's closer to catching my bench or my squat. I'm just like, what is going on right now? And he eventually passed me. It was kind of crazy to see that, the dedication
Yeah.
that you had.
One of the side effects though is the bigger you're gonna get, the smaller you're gonna feel. So like you'll feel better when you were 120 than you will when you're 200. If that makes sense.
Well, I feel like maybe because your body fat percentage is higher. Is that what you mean by that?
No, like when I look in the mirror, like if I don't have a pump or anything, I'll be like, damn, I look absolute, like I'm small, look like shit. Like the only place that I feel like I look good is like 40% of the time. Also,
you're such a fat ass.
Well, it's partly to do with wrestling and stuff. Because like you get a lot of like eating disorders and stuff from wrestling. And that like kind of messes you up. Also concussions, those mess you up.
The dining court chicken.
The dining court chicken will mess you up.
You know, explain that story to him.
The dining court chicken?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was, we got a to-go box. I had 4 chicken breasts. I heated them up the next day for lunch. Ate them. I was like, okay, these taste okay. Ate the broccoli. Got back to my last class of the day and laid down. It was like 3:30. Woke up at 8. No, it was like 10. Just got up, went to the bathroom, threw up everything in my stomach, went back, laid down. Alex came back, and I'm just like laying there, like sweating in pain.
He was dying. He's like, can you fill up my water bottle? As he's like trying to speak without dying. It was kind of amazing.
It was terrible. And then,
But
like,
no, I don't know what it is about. Hold on. I don't know what it is about this chicken, but like it just like it's like they sprayed it with Lysol and then put it on the grill. I don't know what they do to this chicken.
Yeah.
It's so bad. It's only this specific chicken too. Everything else is fine.
Are your guys' business students absolute douchers?
There's a few. A lot of my friends who are in Cranner, they're pretty cool people. I like them a lot.
Do they have like a designated dining hall? Because like all of our business students live in like basically one section. Okay. Well, I went to McNutt today, which is like the business students dining hall, basically. Shut up. And it is so weird, like how entitled all of them act, and like how often they'll just stare at you and be like super silent judging of you. And there's so many girls that have that same annoying like sorority voice, and it makes me so angry, dude. I'm never eating there again.
Like,
We have a place like that, but it's not business students. It's just like the really like academically focused, I want to say, but like that's all they do. They don't come out of their dorm. They just sit in their dorm all day, and like they think they're better than you because they have more money than you at Hillenbrand. And when me and Jacob go there, we feel so out of place.
they're not real people. Like they're like the conversations that you hear like going in and out of your ear, like it's not a real conversation. Like people literally talk about model rockets the whole time we're there. Like model rockets.
It is
for
great. It
45
is an
minutes.
experience. The food's amazing, but the people there are just odd.
Yeah, we feel like we're zoo animals because everybody just looks at us and like we can, like when we walk in, we can tell like we don't belong there.
And like they'll like glance at you and be like, "Why are they here?" Like
They're like,
what are they doing?
ew, buff guys.
They should be on the other side of campus.
Yeah. So Truman, we have some big news.
Yeah, we're pretty much homeowners.
Yeah, we are. We got our apartment for next
I
year.
don't think that's how that works, but congratulations, boys. So we should film a podcast episode at their new apartment.
We could.
I said we should have a housewarming thing, and Truman goes, "No, don't come over."
What do you mean?
I didn't say don't come over. I'm not throwing like a housewarming party though.
Well, it just means like
No.
Us four.
Yeah,
I'll,
it's gonna
I'll
be like
bring
Caedyn, Alex, Cole, maybe.
I'll bring Mimi's cookies. That's what I got.
And a housewarming party, Truman.
Sure, we're all coming over. Don't you worry.
Yeah.
He's gonna gatekeep his address.
Dude, I'll get from Jacob. I don't care. Jacob,
Yeah,
get the master bedroom. So Truman has no say because you'll be paying more.
Yeah.
320 Boulevard, I think, or something like that.
Do not dox yourself on the podcast.
Yeah, dude. Congratulations. You guys are getting swatted.
Hey, they don't know what city.
It's okay. We live in the hood pretty much, so.
What do
mean-
you do?
They don't know what
There's like
city.
graffiti on the walls, and they use like a different shade of blue to spray paint it out.
It's hilarious. And then the dude, like literally in the apartment across from us, I don't know if it's a mom and a dad, but the dad we saw when we went to see the apartment first time walked out with 5 little kids, dude. Like really little.
Let's go.
You got excited.
That's gonna suck ass. But we're right next to the Wabash.
Yeah. I'm gonna be fishing.
Jake's gonna be fishing.
Set up some catfish
I'm not gonna
lines.
catch anything. That river's pretty dirty. But speaking of contaminated water, dirty water.
Oh my god.
Recent event in northern Ohio, right?
Yeah, it was Ohio. Everything's happening in Ohio there for some reason.
It's strange. Train carrying what was the train carrying?
I don't know, some chemical.
Hold on. Let me get it pulled up.
It's like nitric something.
There's some sort of acid. It's Palestine, Ohio, carrying vinyl chloride, which is very toxic. But the government says it's safe. And I saw a news article of this man in,
Said let's all go drink the water and then sue the government.
Let's go to there in Ohio. Let's go to
Texas.
the place in Michigan, Flint, Michigan,
Flint, Michigan.
and then let's go to Gary, Indiana. Try all the water.
We're not going to survive.
It's like the hood. And
Gary's like the final boss.
yeah.
Their restaurants have boards and bars on the windows.
Yeah, I think the water would be the thing I'm the least concerned about going to Gary, Indiana.
Have you guys seen what's going on with guns in America these days? They're still around, but
They should
after
be.
I know, right? But after the Michigan State shooting, less than a week later, another state has been like, "Hey, we're gonna allow concealed carry onto colleges," which, a lot of people are like, hey, okay, yeah, now they're able to defend themselves. But then you also got the idea that, well, now you could basically have students have guns on school campuses now.
You simplified that heavily, but continue.
The only problem is that I don't see how it will really work, because you physically can't have weapons on in campus dorms. So the only way that kids would be able to have concealed carry on campus would be if they're a grad student or if they live off campus, basically.
That
But
makes sense.
that does bring up the point that professors can have guns, which I think we're all pretty much against teachers having guns. And this is basically the same thing, but just on college campuses.
High school teachers?
I mean,
We already touched on that.
yeah,
last section, yeah.
that's what I'm saying. None of us like high school teachers really having guns, but are we okay with college? Because I feel like some college professors are even nuttier, and I would not trust them with weapons either.
Well, are we talking professors in the classroom, or are we talking students outside of the classroom?
Both, but I just said professors. Anyone can carry a gun. That's what that means.
Yeah, but where can they carry a gun? In the classroom?
It is specified, well, because we live in the states. Every state is different. Some states it is they leave it up to the individual college. Some allow the permitted concealed carry of guns on public colleges and university campuses, and then some completely ban it. And so it's mainly up to the college, but I feel like there's probably a college out there that completely allows them to carry guns anywhere. Because if they're not carrying it in the classroom, where else are they carrying it? Just like around?
Well, I'm not in the classroom most of the time. I'm at college.
So let's say you can't carry it in classrooms. Would you be able to carry it in buildings?
Depends on the building.
See, but then doesn't it kind of complicate it, and then you have a lot of students getting in trouble for misunderstandings? And in any case, if a student has a gun in an area where they shouldn't have a gun, law enforcement's going to get involved. So wouldn't you think that it would detract campus law enforcement from more important things like and I'm not saying that they wouldn't be as vigilant, but they might be backed up with like these gun cases, that they wouldn't be as prioritized with like sexual assault cases, or patrolling more, or knocking down parties, doing other routine things, even noise complaints.
I mean, I can see how it might. Yeah, I can see how there's going to be an increase of that, but I'd rather it be for something like that than for a call that 2 people just got shot. Because the majority of gun violence, like crimes involving guns, happen in these gun-free zones. Like you post a sign up, hey, this is gun-free zone, no one in here has a gun. The shooter's gonna be like, oh, I'm heading towards that way because no one in here is gonna stop me. I'm the only one in here with a gun. You know what I'm saying?
I can see that mindset, but I also feel like I don't trust any of our high school kids to have guns when we were seniors. And I definitely don't trust like 95% of kids that are in college to have a gun.
I still
Well, and it's not, I will also say it's not as easy to obtain a gun as most people think. But I also, okay, if that's what you think, right? Then why aren't we promoting gun safety more often? If you're worried about people not properly using a gun, why don't we just promote gun safety?
I think it's more so, I think that deals more with politics than anything, because I feel like Democrats will not budge on that. And I feel like they'll just say, well, if you promote gun safety, then it gives them a valuable reason to keep guns in society. So instead of promoting that, we should just ban them outright. And it's kind of like with anything, whether you talk about sex or driving a car, like taking classes or learning about information on your own is imperative to being able to use and do these activities. So yes, I feel like gun safety shouldn't be a mandatory class, but I feel like there should be components of that split in with other classes. Like, I don't know what class it would be if you would have to do like something with physical education during high school. Because remember, we did like a week or 2 on bows. Like, who the frick is using bows out here? You know?
In what country was that where that dude was going down the street with a bow and arrow and took out like 16 people silently? That was crazy.
But that's what I'm.
Sorry.
I'd be more scared if I saw an arrow flying into the back of a person right next to me than a bullet.
Yeah, I probably would be too, because like you wouldn't even hear it to begin with. You just look around and you just see an arrow protruding from some dude and you're like, oh well, I'm dead. But I mean like I feel like we should have a component of gun safety in classes while we're like young enough. And then this way it will mitigate people from using guns. Or if in a situation where you have the opportunity to use a gun, you know how to properly shoot it, reload it, make sure it doesn't jam, clean a weapon, stuff like that. And maybe then concealed carry makes more sense. But at this point, on campuses, I don't really see that it is completely necessary unless in dire situations. And there's even less amount of times that someone with a gun is a hero of a situation.
Okay, hold on. One thing though, I just found an article about the concealed carry.
Yeah.
That you were talking about. You do have to take a NRA training or safety course of some kind, or it can be through law enforcement or hunting education. But most states do require you to go through some sort of education before you can apply for that concealed carry permit.
Yes, that makes sense, Alex, and I agree with that, and they should. But I feel like kids that aren't really even interested in guns should know how to use one still, because they can be so deadly in the wrong hands and so useful in the right
I agree.
hands. So
I
I feel
agree.
like, yeah.
I also think it's important to note that more lives are saved by guns in America than taken. I also think that's a very important thing to acknowledge.
What about during the Civil War, huh? What about that?
Let people have gun racks.
Well, it depends on what side you're on there.
I mean, for every life I take, don't I technically save one? So I mean, like, I guess it'd even out, right? It'd be about the same.
Well, if you would have killed Hitler, you'd have saved 6 million plus.
Hey, we got a great guy to kill Hitler. We should commend that man. Anyways, Cocaine Bear.
Okay, yeah. So I saw this very interesting thing today. Cocaine Bear, 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. 100%. We were trashing it too. I don't know how.
Have you watched it?
I have not watched it.
Oh, so then how are you trashing on it?
I'm not trashing on it. No, I'm just saying, like, no, remember, like, in the earlier podcast, we were like, oh, that's a stupid concept.
Yeah.
Well, obviously it wasn't a stupid concept. It got 100% on Rotten Tomato.
Well, now it's got 71 with 91 reviews, which is still super high for Cocaine Bear.
Looks like he's in Ghost Adventures.
It looks so blurry. It looks so bad.
Yeah, that reminds me of the movie Unfriended.
It does, dude. I look like I'm about to get murdered.
And it looks like he's in a coffin. We're watching him 6 feet under. Okay. Last thing. So with the success or not success of the new Lord of the Rings, the Power for the Ring or whatever TV show that came out, they are planning, Warner Brothers is planning multiple new Lord of the Rings movies. There is no details on what these movies are, but because they've already done The Hobbit and they've already done the Lord of the Rings trilogy, I'm guessing that they're going to do something with a prequel, and then they might do something post Lord of the Rings. However, there's never really been a fully fledged out conclusion for what happens after Lord of the Rings. So it will be interesting, but I feel like they're milking this franchise and it is going to go down the drain, just like how the MCU has been doing for the past couple of years.
I just don't understand how they can make so many movies off of, like, this one thing. Like, it's like kind of similar to Fast and Furious. What are they up to now? They're making another one of those.
They're on 10, and then they're gonna do an 11th.
What have they said anything what it's going to be about, the Lord of the Rings?
No clue.
It's just been confirmed. That's interesting.
Yeah, but like I said, I'm guessing it's gonna be stuff before The Hobbit.
And it's not like those are like short movies either. Like 3 hours long.
Wasn't it the TV show like the most expensive like produced TV show ever?
Ever. Yep.
And it's doing shitty.
Yeah,
I haven't even heard of it.
it's on Amazon Prime. Pretty sure.
Fucking problem.
The games are very good. though.
Amazon. Yeah, who uses Amazon Prime? Amazon
Me?
Prime Video.
There are some good shows on there, like The Boys and Invincible. There's some good shows.
Yeah, but if you're gonna make,
We're just gonna pirate it off some pirating site instead of just getting a streaming service. You know?
I feel like if you're gonna put something on a streaming service that costs that much money, I don't think Amazon Prime Video is the way to go.
Yeah, but Amazon owns the rights to Lord of the Rings, so of course they're not going to put it on someone else's streaming site. They're going to put it on their own. That's why.
That would make sense then.
When did they buy the Lord of the Rings franchise? What the hell?
I don't know. I don't know if they've always had it, like when they made the original trilogy, or if they had it after the Hobbits or what, or maybe even before, because the Hobbit movies got dragged out so long. I mean, it's one book and they made 3 movies out of it.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's real bad. What they should do is they should just make Lord of the Rings the Lego movie stuff, because I know that would get views.
Like, speaking of Lego movie, is there going to be a third Lego movie?
No, I watched a video essay on the Lego movie and all other Lego movies a couple months ago, and while they got really good reviews, people just started to show up less and less to these Lego movies. And I think the last one was either Lego Batman, or I'm pretty sure it's Lego Batman, because it was Ninjago than Lego Batman. And Lego Batman did really well with ratings, and the box office was pretty okay. So they definitely could have done more Lego movies. I don't know why they didn't.
Maybe they just didn't want to saturate it like Lord of the Rings is, where they make too many and then it's just like they wanted to leave it with a legendary status.
Maybe, but at one point they were gonna make a Batman too, and I don't know why they didn't. Maybe it was because the Lego Movie 2 did so poorly in comparison. But because I never watched the second one.
I like the part in the Batman Lego
Me neither.
movie where Batman's trying to log into the computer and he has to put in a super secret password. It's like
Why is Jacob laughing?
Stinky Butt or something.
I like how the voice actor for the Lego Batman movie for Robin is Michael Cera.
Is it actually?
Yes, it is. And it's pretty amazing. I love Michael Cera.
What's his one movie?
Superbad?
No, the one where he like fights
Scott
off
Pilgrim?
Yes. I love that movie.
Yeah.
We should do a segment every episode of a movie not to watch, a movie not recommended. I have one for this week. Me and Jacob watched. Jacob, I can't.
Why is he caressing his nipples?
What movie you watch?
What was that movie? Oh, okay. So the movie that I would not recommend watching, and is a complete waste of time, is Don't Look Up. It's on Netflix. It's about this giant world-ending meteor coming down, and the whole movie is pointless. Like, there's so much filler and so much like pointless stuff in the movie that contributes absolutely nothing to the
Overall narrative.
yes.
Yeah. I will agree with you. The Don't Look Up movie absolutely sucked mega balls. When it came out, a ton of people watched it. People were either really liking it or really hating it. I think it was a very bad interpretation of the political system we have in today, because it satirized both sides, but it did it in such a poor way. And they basically just made all characters really stupid. And instead of like making it comedic with it, it just made all the characters unlikable and annoying. And I hate Timothy Chalamet, so that's another reason.
I like Jonah Hill in it. I thought he was pretty funny.
Well, yeah, it's Jonah Hill. Jonah Hill is going to be Jonah Hill, no matter what movie he's in.
When he just gets left on Earth as it's about to explode and his mom just leaves him.
She's coming back.
But he's the only one who survived. That was
Yeah.
crazy. In the post-credit scene, he just like comes out of the bunker or something. He's like, "Hey, what's up, guys?"
And he's got his smartphone on. Hilarious.
Reminds me of that episode of Robot Chicken.
What?
When robots take over the world because all the humans died out from mass extinction.
I don't remember that, but there is an episode of The Twilight Zone where an old
Talking about-
guy.
Love, death, robots.
Yep.
Why'd you say robot chicken?
Robot
Robot
chicken.
I didn't mean that.
God, I love robot chicken.
That's it. I'm getting naked.
But there is an episode in the Twilight Zone from like the 60s where this old guy's the only one to survive like nuclear extinction or something, and he's like in a bunker and he's like, "Oh, I have so much time to read books now. I love reading books," because he's an old guy, and then his glasses break and he can't read. And it's just a very interesting topic, and it's so ironic because it's like, oopsie.
I love Twilight Zone. That shit scared me when I was little though. Like the like horror at like 40,000 feet or something when there's like the monster on the plane wing.
Oh,
he
yeah.
going up Borden and he's like, "Give me your gun." That shit scared me, dude. I had nightmares about that.
Do you guys know like those cavers on Instagram? Yeah, guys, I've climbed 3 miles in cave Tepushitsu, and I'm currently stuck, and it's raining, and a scorpion has currently made a nest inside of my asshole, but hopefully I can crawl out within the next 3 days and stay alive.
You guys remember when that entire soccer team got trapped in that cave?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, didn't they find them all though?
Yeah, they all survived. One of the members had just recently died.
Was he in another cave?
It wasn't a cave.
Oh damn.
It wasn't a
None.
cave, but it was a tunnel. Like what?
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to episode 9 of the podcast. Don't forget, we are on Spotify. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. I did that in the wrong order, but comment down below what demon you think is going to kill me tonight.
Hey, thanks for getting to the end of the video. If you liked it, consider subscribing. If you want to see the curated playlist for this video, click the top picture, and other videos that you might like will be posted in the bottom picture. This has been Just Another College Kid, and I'll see you in the next one.